I keep my sunny side up, so they can see me from above. I keep my sunny side up. No more running from the love, no more, no more. I keep my sunny side up, so they can see me from above. I keep my sunny side up. No more running from the love. Yeah. Hey, pour me up some OJ, have it fresh squeezed, sizzle up some pico and some bay leaves. Make sure that it's on low. Let the top breathe, let the top breathe. Gotta let the top breathe. Crack another egg on it. Me and you could make the best omelet. Yeah, never seasoned, so it's our timing. You can smell the good vibes rising. I keep my sunny side up, so they can see me from above. I keep my sunny side up. No more running from the love, no more, no more. I keep my sunny side up, so they can see me from above. I keep my sunny side up. No more running from the love. It goes sweet like sugar, smooth like cream.
Welcome, Doctor.
Thank you very much, Swat. It's good to be here.
Good to see you again. Thank you for coming. And I also have Dr. Swat Ndabio, who is the Vice Chair, Health and Social Care, retired. Okay, so this sounds like okay. Welcome. Thank you so much, Dr. Swat, for coming too. All right, let's start with you, Dr. Ogugo. Who is an elder, or who is an elder?
Older adult.
Yeah.
So we like to use the terms older adults, older persons.
Yeah.
I always say to people that we don't use the word aged.
Oh, yes. No.
Old, because you're only older than the person coming behind you in terms of chronological age. So we prefer to use those terms. So we use the age cutoff of 60 for 60. The most part in the global world. So those 60 and above are referred to as being older persons.
Older persons.
Okay, in some other climes they may use the age cutoff of 65, but mostly 60 years and above. And I'm sure the listeners now will be saying, somebody might be 62. Oh, are they already saying that I'm old? So we're not saying you're old. We're saying you're older.
You're older.
You're older. And why are we looking at that cohort or that group of people? We know they have peculiar challenges. They're dealing with burden of disease. They're dealing with losses.
Yeah.
You become retired. Your income level is not the same.
Yeah.
You might not have a home. You might still be grappling with sending your children to school. Where do you get the money to do that when you're already retired? There are issues when we talk, particularly today, where a lot of parents now are sending children abroad to go to school, and those kids don't come back. So you're older, you're alone. So there are social issues of loneliness, isolation. So all of these challenges we take into consideration when approaching or developing programs for this group of persons. We take into consideration.
All right. So we're talking about abuse. Why is it important to talk about acts of abuse and what constitutes abuse to older persons?
Right. So that age bracket, because of those losses that I've talked about, you're not walking as fast as you did, you might have lost your vision, hearing might also have been lost, so you become vulnerable. And also there is something we describe as ageism, where on the basis of age someone is being discriminated against. And so those are almost like the recipe that increase the older people being at risk of abuse. And what do we describe as elder abuse? So any act of omission, commission, that one who is in a relationship of trust with an older person meets out on this older person. So you're a child, you're a paid caregiver, you're a healthcare worker in the hospital and, you're taking care of a patient and you neglect to do certain things, or you commit physical harm.
Yeah.
All of that comes under elder abuse, and there are different types. Physical, emotional, which we tend to see a lot of. Just, an older person says, "Oh, I would like to go to church today." And the daughter says, "Oh, Mama, you're always wanting to go to church every day." And of course, Mama now cows into a corner. You've denied her that which she would have enjoyed.
Yeah.
That's a form of emotional abuse or psychological abuse. So those are the kinds of things we like to raise awareness on. And sometimes some of us younger ones or the children of older people are not aware that this is what they're doing.
Yeah, what they're doing, exactly.
You have an older person who is already vulnerable because she's using a walking stick or a frame. And every time you're rushing to go and help them do something,
or you hide the walking stick.
They already feel vulnerable. Give them the opportunity for self-determination, for decision making.
Yeah.
Let them be the ones to say, oh, my daughter, please help me with this. Or first you ask, Mama, that bag, do you want me to help you carry it?
Yes.
That way, it's their choice.
So stop making them feel like they're invalids or something.
Exactly. Exactly. You feed into that vulnerability.
Yes.
By always rushing to Mama wants to go walk to the kitchen with her cane to go and get a cup of tea or cup of water. Oh, Mama, what? Just sit down. We'll go and get it for you. That's not what they want.
Exactly.
We need to allow them the opportunity to do as much as they want for themselves.
Looking at the peculiarity of our culture, especially, if you don't do the things again, they'll say, you demand, Mama, they always do things, they help, And maybe if you want to help, Mama will tell you, no, don't leave me alone, that kind of thing. So how do you strike a balance between trying to be compassionate and loving and helpful towards the older adults, right, whether they're your parents or they're under your care or something like that, and then going overboard with some of these acts?
So that's why you seek their approval. So I'll give you, just yesterday, my younger sister called and said, "Oh, Mom is being difficult. She's not feeling well, and I want to help her do this." And she said, no, leave it. I'll do it. And that she's saying, "Look, I need this woman. She needs help, I said, well, this is what you're doing. You're making her feel that she's invalid. She can't do anything for herself.
Okay.
What you need to do is ask her, Mom, should I carry this for you, or should I go and bring this for you? And if she says yes, then you both, struck that balance.
Yes.
And then my sister said, oh, okay, now I have a better understanding. So we need to get them into the conversation about what do you want? How would you want it done? I'm here to help you if you need help. I'm here to help if you need help.
Yeah.
Not that I'm feeling you can't do anything for yourself anymore, because they really do feel vulnerable. They come and they say, doctor, I'm slower, I can't get up as I used to. And we just encourage them that with aging, some of these changes occur.
Inevitable.
And we push them to do a little more. Physical exercise, physical therapy can sometimes help get them to be better with mobility. And there's so many things that we attribute to age that have remedies. There are people who are leaving their 80-year-olds at home because they no more can see, or they can't hear, and they just say, Mama is old. She's 88. She can't see. Yes, now at 88, it's expected. But it could just be cataract. And we remove this cataract.
And Mama will see.
Quality of life goes from 20% to 80%.
Yeah.
So we must never look at age as a disease. That's part of that concept of ageism. No discrimination based on age.
Okay.
And that's really what we want people to understand.
Okay. Dr. Ewart, you haven't said anything, so let's hear from you.
You want me to speak to that?
Yeah,
thank you so much. Yes, I think we are also very lucky in this part of the world that we have a tradition. Like we want our old people to be family. We want people to, but within that arrangement, we also have the ageism people looking down at depriving of their own rights. These are rights issues when we are abusing an elderly or an older persons. And I wanted to quickly also say that there are a category of older persons. There is up to 60 years to 74 years, 75 to 79 years, and probably people 80 years and above. You know, these segments, segmentation of that demographic is very important because the changes in life, you know, the physical body, the mental body, and the social interactions also align with these segments of life, of aging. And it is very important that we also appreciate that these people also have a sense of dignity. And when you are saying that you are helping, supporting an older person, you have to do it in the context of recognizing that in spite of the person is looking vulnerable, he also has rights. That was what the co-chair for FCT was also trying to put across, that they have a sense of, you know, ability to also do things, and you don't have to look at them as being vulnerable, being vegetables, and that they cannot help themselves. So you have got to ask, you have to request for excuse to ask, why you monitor the environment and know whether, because some of them, out of a sense of dignity, will not want to tell you that they need your help. So you have got to figure out how to when to intervene. And that is where training will also come in. You have to build the capacity of even the informal caregivers and then those that are formal caregivers, so that they will be able to know how to interface with them. And secondly, what we are doing now is about recognizing that there is a day that this set of people should be recognized, and what they are passing through in life should also have to be recognized. Everybody will reach that age, God willing, because we are only praying for long life and longevity. But the quality of life when you get old is very important too. And government should deliberately set in place what should also protect the rights of these people, and it cannot be done by one person alone or one agency alone. There should be multi-sectoral approach, and we have to also have a multidisciplinary approach to make sure that these people have a sense of care and warmth around them, so that the process of dying, you know, thousands of people are not afraid of death. They are afraid of dying. That process that you are dying is more painful than the death itself. So we want the dying process to be very soothing and very encouraging, easy, and then peaceful, and you rest in peace. And
to be dignified.
Dignified. Oh, absolutely.
So Mom, you know, when we talk about abuse, right, it speaks of one's action towards probably the older person.
Absolutely.
Now let's come back to taking responsibility.
Yes.
Because like you said, you know, it gets to that point where it's a process. Now, you can make it smooth, you can make it easy, even for yourself.
Absolutely.
You can make it in such a way that, you know, you don't become very vulnerable to people by the quality of life you live. Because I often get to hear, you know, when doctors talk and a whole lot of people, what you plan today is what you reap tomorrow. So what do you say to people who are listening right now? In Nigeria, they say, see this old person. Like I was saying, it's not correct. It's not get it. It's just people.
When they participate like that, it becomes like an inclusive care, and they take ownership, and they are freer to communicate with you. There's a trust. You build trust, and they know that we develop this together. So it will not look like you are looking at them as being vulnerable. You are looking at them as being weak. They cannot help it. Somebody that was so active, practically, say permanent secretary, retired major general, 5-star general, coming down to 80 years, cannot help himself again, and you are looking at him leaking urine, etc. So you have to contain all those things. You have to plan all these things with him or her, and ensure that a meaningful life, even at that age is achieved.
So
So I think, Swat, what you're asking is how does one age well?
Exactly.
So that you're not
Healthy
requiring. Right. So we talk about 6 pillars of healthy living, which you can also contribute, you know, translate to healthy aging. Good sleep.
Good sleep.
Very restful sleep.
I'm an advocate of rest. I keep saying rest. Why do you talk too much about rest?
Right. So it's recommended for adults that we get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Restful sleep every day. Our diet needs to be plant-based. So eating a lot of vegetables, fruits, and reduction in intake of carbohydrates. So plant-based, whole grain food, Making sure that we avoid toxins like tobacco. Okay, we know tobacco has been linked to so many diseases. So all of these pillars are to help us ensure that we maintain healthy lifestyle and avoid those lifestyle-related diseases like diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, which could go on to give you a stroke. So you stop walking properly, heart attack. So your functionality is also reduced, kidney failure.
Yeah.
So we're trying to reduce the burden of this lifestyle-related diseases by asking people to live a healthy lifestyle.
Okay.
The other thing is the attitude. You know, what we say about attitude is everything.
Everything.
So people must also have a youthful attitude, meaning don't have self-imposed ageism. I hear people say, but you're already 50, how come? You know, even at parties, somebody, MC will tell you, see these 80-year-olds and now dancing like they're only 40s. People should express themselves whichever way.
It's a societal thing. It's a societal thing, doctor. Even if you want to be useful, they say, see this old person, why they dress like this? Why are you doing? You know, people just box you into that place where you feel uncomfortable. Even if you feel young, if you express it, people just insult you. And it's part of the abusive system we operate.
Right. But as many more people realize that, look, it is my life. This is the way I feel young. It is not about my chronological age. And they express themselves that way. As long as you're not being indecent with whatever you're doing. Hey, everybody, I say to my patients when they come, Mama, where's your lipstick? Where is the where is the polish on your nails? This was what I saw as I was a resident. I mean, a fellow in the U.S. These women come, they're all made up, the hair. I was at the salon yesterday, and they look good. They match their colors. It's inspiring for younger people. I love to see my patients looking that good. So it's not about age. It's an attitude now. And nobody should feel that they should no more do this or that.
Let's take this quick.
This is an announcement. Lilong.
I keep my sunny side up so they can see me from above.
Nothing breaks the news like the news. Trust me, I can prove it. I do it every morning on Morning Crossfire from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Nigeria Info 95.1, and I'm Femi D. Amede. Join the biggest conversation around the national politics every day in a way that is trustworthy, full of passion, and yes, covers the biggest politics and the stories that matter to you. See, you have all the reasons to find out what's going on in Nigeria and be engaged differently. Let's talk. That's the way to go, even this morning.
I keep my sunny side up, so they can see me from above. I keep my sunny side up. No more running from the love, no more, no more. I keep my sunny side up, so they can see me from above. I keep my sunny side up. No more running from the love. Yeah. Hey, pour me up some OJ, have it fresh squeezed, sizzle up some pico and some bay leaves. Make sure that it's on.
Thank you so much for being here. It's the World Elder Abuse Awareness Day today, and I'm seated with Dr. Ogugwa Odiogua and Dr. Iwot Ndabio, and today we are raising awareness on ways that people, society tend to abuse older ones, and how we can stop that circle, and then also ways that we can ensure that we secure our future, because everyone will definitely get to that stage. I think that was what we were talking before.
What we're talking
yes.
about.
So sorry, that interruption came
those
in.
ways for healthy living. So I've mentioned sleep, diet, avoiding toxins like tobacco, excess alcohol, social connectedness.
Okay.
We need, and that's one of the things that happens. The loneliness and isolation that comes with retirement worsens that for older people. So we must be intentional about maintaining meaningful social connections. You must have 3, 4, 5 people that have your back. You have the same value with that. You can talk to, make you laugh, and that's something that happens. I mean, that with older people they tend to they lack. So we always recommend that even when you lose friends, older persons must intentionally establish new connections. Because we know the value of social connectedness.
Yes.
Making sure that we identify disease conditions early, and that can only happen if you go in for a regular well check. So don't wait until there's a problem. Once a year, we recommend that everyone should go in for a regular well check. Check your blood pressure, check your blood sugar. And you can track, we talk about you tracking those numbers from year to year, so that you can tell when something is going
down.
And being able to screen. So increasing age is a big risk factor for cancers. So we talk about screening age and gender-specific screenings of those cancers. So mammogram for women above the age of 40, pap smear for all sexually active women, colonoscopy for everyone who's 50 and above, prostate screening with the blood test PSA from 40 to 45 years for all men. So being able to do all that. Avail yourself to vaccines for all vaccine preventable, diseases that we can prevent with immunization. So, and for adults, we still recommend that they get vaccines. We have one particularly for pneumonia, because we know that when pneumonia occurs in older people, it can really be severe and they could lose their life. So pneumonia vaccine we recommend to all older adults above the age of 65 and those who are younger when they have chronic medical conditions like diabetes, asthma and all of that. So it's being able to make sure that you use all of these resources available to you. Exercise will be the last one that I'm going to talk about. And we want everyone to briskly walk for at least 35 to 40 minutes every day, minimum 5 times a week. We want 150 minutes of, quick-paced walks every week. We also talk about everyone striving to get at least 10,000 steps a day. And how are you going to do that? It's not going to happen when you're sitting on your butt. Exactly. So we want people to move. So apart from your 30 minutes of walking, every 2 hours, this is what I recommend to my patients. Get up, go and get a glass of water, go and use the bathroom, especially for the men. That way, you exercise to the toilet and use the bathroom. Walk around for about five minutes before you come down to sit again.
Okay, that's interesting.
And the exercise, not just physically, but also tasking our brains. And that you can do by constantly reading, and not just about materials that's related to your career, but something new, something challenging. So you can read about fashion, you can read about gardening, you can, something that would really challenge your brain and task you. We want that to be ongoing. Playing games.
Yeah.
So every home should have a Ludo game, Scrabble, again, a brain tasking exercise.
Yeah.
So if we're able to put all of this together, people tend to live healthier as they get older. But that attitude is also really important. And of course, you must have the right attitude to even be able to adhere to all of these pillars that I've talked about. Right? So really, at the end of the day, attitude is everything. What's your health-seeking behavior? Are you the one that will go and use the herbal medication without knowing whatever diagnosis you're dealing with and harming your organs? So really important. And maybe that it's very important that I mention this. We have this habit of, you hear someone say, I went to the lab or I went to the chemist. If anything is wrong in the body, a diagnosis needs to be established. So who is going to establish the diagnosis? The medical doctor. And the same person will now give you a prescription for a medication if it's a diagnosis that requires treatment, or will say, go and run this test or go and run that test. But I see that people do it the other way. They go to the lab and then they come back to the doctor with
the results.
Doctor, I went to the lab. These are my results. But I haven't established a diagnosis that required you to go and run those tests. So that needs to happen. And I think the reason that doesn't happen is people don't have a relationship with any doctor who is like their general practitioner. So everyone must have a relationship with a doctor who's your GP that you go to routinely, and they know you.
Okay.
And whenever anything is going off, they can say, oh, this is probably what it is. Very important. And health insurance will help people to do that more confidently, because part of the problem of going to the hospital regularly is paying out of pocket. But if you have health insurance, then that takes away that burden of out-of-pocket spending.
Okay, yes. I hope people are following, listening, and also learning, because these are very important tips that will go a long way. Dr. Ewart,
thank you.
Let's look at, what the society or government, so to speak. I mean, we can't speak about a country or a society without talking about government. You get to see in advanced climes where old people's home. I was privileged to visit one when I traveled out of the country. It was beautiful. It was like a hotel or something. I saw old people enjoying themselves, and we actually went to even have dinner with a certain old woman in the old. It was amazing for me. I was
Absolutely.
like, whoa, we need to have this. Now, I know that we have the National Senior Citizens Commission in Nigeria.
Center.
And, yes, center.
Yes.
So, Dr. Ewart, you're funny. So tell me, what are some of the things, that you would love to see government do very deliberately to make older persons enjoy that stage of their life?
Thank you so much. I appreciate this. And at this time, it is need to let us know that the issue of aging and having older persons is not something today. It's very formal approach, very organized approach since in the 2000s, early 2000s, when the UN agencies and other partners had to work on this, on aging. The declaration of the UN decade of healthy aging, and countries are signing to it, over 190 countries signing into it, and then they were expected to operationalize this. And up till now, some countries are still lagging, but Nigeria, we believe that we have gone far. But we have to do that in the context of our culture and tradition. Very important. Yes, you have seen the developed world, people living in institutional care, and some other people are not very disposed to that. So in the context of Nigeria, you have seen the national policy on aging, 2020. You will see in the opening address.
Yes, I was there at the launching.
That our people who don't like institutional, so you don't family approach, community approach and stuff. But then the issue of aging, the ageism, that is having to trample on the rights of the older persons also exists. So to that extent, we have got to have partnership that one person cannot do it alone, including the community. That's what I told you about the person-centered approach to all this is very important. That you have to situate the situation where people live and people return to home to stay as family and take it up from there to have policies, guidelines, and then the operational basis. So to that extent, I think the NSCC, being the driving authority for the implementation of the national policy on aging, has done a lot of has a lot of MOU with NAPTIP, that is what I was showing you at that time, that they have got to report cases of abuse or apparent abuse to people, to this agency. And so there is a law, there is a policy in place to make sure that this is taken very seriously, and there is enforcement. So NACC has done that, and there are also other areas that we want to look at. There are people that are taking care of our older persons in this country that we have never had the training manuals curricula. So people are just working the way they want, and the training is just anyhow. So now I think the policy and the training curricula will soon be in place, I believe, before the end of this year. Those documents will be in place so that people will be guided, and people will have quality care, and then the rights will also be observed. Then the older persons themselves will be engaged. By the time we mainstream their care to the available health system, remember that the National Health Authority for 14 as amended is very clear that the care of people, the national health system starts from the community, I would say from home, with the families being involved, up to the tertiary hospital where you have teaching hospitals and other stuff. So we have to organize health services at the community and the family levels to allow for long-term care, because other persons would need long-term care. It's not something that you just have acute care and you leave them there. You have to build a situation that sustainable care in the care continuum is established. So these are all what the country is doing, and I'm sure in due time all these things will be in place, and we are going to have a model tailored for Nigeria and made for Nigerians, with Nigerians participating. And it's going to be full democracy for the care of the older persons, and then all will be well with us.
All right,
yes.
Indeed. All right, we have some feedbacks coming in. Let me read some of the messages and then also answer the call so that you can get to respond to probably questions and concerns of people. Good afternoon, Swat and our guest. The conversation is just apt. Listening to our guest, I'm so happy and glad that I'm doing it right. I hope this discussion is recorded. I would like to listen to it again and forward to family and friends. By the way, we're streaming live on our YouTube page and our Facebook page. Our YouTube is Nigeria Info 95.1. Just go to YouTube, check on that. Please subscribe to our page so that, anytime we go on live and, you get the notification. All right. And then you can also go to Facebook, the same Nigeria Info 95.1. You will get to see that. And then you can play back any video that concerns the topic you are interested. I hope this discussion. Okay. Yeah. Then you also said we should ask our guests to talk about sarcopenia. Okay, I don't know about that, but I guess the doctors will respond to that in good time. Good afternoon, Swat, and our guest Michael Okon from LifeCam said, so what if the older people say no to every assistance you want to offer them? That's one question. Wow, Swat, I never expected you to get the humor. Oh, okay. Colby said the lack of purchasing power for our society, poverty and of the populace is what has made such aspect of our society not to work. In Canada, the children of those old people pay for those homes while the government does a little more to support. In Nigeria, to have a quality service for such, will an average person be able to afford the monthly payment? Will it not become for the rich alone, or will the government fund it completely? I urge President Tinubu to not further deteriorate the purchasing power of the populace in order to save money for the government. The economy may never pick up again. It's an economic disaster, even if the government is so rich, and that's what sent us into subsidizing basic things, okay? Good afternoon, everyone. Swat and the guests, great conversation there, says Hafsa. Thank you so much. Welcome back. I'm just tuning in. I thought you're still on your short leave. Okay, yes, I'm back. Thank you so much, Joe in Maraba. All right, you can call in on 0700 951 0000. And then 08095974869. You can also dial 08099930137 in case you have questions or you want to make comments on this discussion. Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Swat. Good afternoon, our guest in the studio. Very erudite in your comment, contribution, and throwing a lot of insight which are very educative. My name is Abakar calling from Gogolada. Just like my famous line, old age is not a curse, it's a blessing. To whoever understands, undergoing aging process is what everyone needs to experience in life. You have seen yesterday, you are witnessing to today, probably you witness tomorrow and future. And a very useful aging process is what that matters. In your aging period, you should you'll be above negative emotions of hunger, depression, a lot of things that will take better part of you that are negative. You should overcome them. You should entertain yourself. You should read widely. You should consult spiritual reading to lighten your mind. And don't allow anybody to impose old age stigma on you. I have worked above golden age, 50, but I do things. I watch a lot of program, international media, entertainment, TV station. I watch music station. I do a lot of things, and I do things according to my capacity. But we are not equally blessed. What some people can do in the old age, some they will never attempt. They are losing power of speech, power of sight. Gradually, we are going back to the home. Thank you. That is my tip. God bless.
God bless you. Thank you so much, Abubakar, for that comment. You want to speak to that thing she talked about?
Sarcopenia?
Yes.
Okay.
Right. So sarcopenia just is the loss of muscle bulk. So as we're aging, it's a degenerative process. The muscle becomes thinner and thinner, which is why...
For everybody?
For everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the rapidity of it depends on how much exercise. So exercise is such a key element that everybody should imbibe. It should be a way of life for everyone. So when we do not use the muscles, then they atrophy. So it's really just atrophy of the muscles. So, but if you move, keep moving, and you intentionally exercise, that process of sarcopenia or muscle bulk loss reduces compared to someone who doesn't move. So again, a reason to not just sit around, because your muscle will lose bulk if you keep sitting around. Yeah, so it's a process that starts actually from 30s. Over 40% of people who are 60 and above, we tend to find sarcopenia in them. But we know that physical activity can actually help to mitigate that.
Wow. Does it come with pain?
The concern for sarcopenia is that when you lose muscle bulk, the capacity to actually now have steady, balanced gait reduces. So if you already have arthritis that is impairing your walking, and then now muscle bulk is really, you don't no more have the strength to actually do adequate balanced walking, and so it increases the risk for falls.
Wow.
And we don't like falls in older people, because when you fall, you break a bone, you remain in hospital for a long time.
Absolutely.
Bed sores develop where if it's a hospital that doesn't take adequate care of the skin and all that. So there are too many things that come with falls. So we are concerned about sarcopenia because of that risk of falls.
Okay, thank you for enlightening that.
Yeah. I want to add something about looking at the older persons being vulnerable and staying at home, not doing anything, reduce income, reduce access to so many social. So this is what NSCC is about. That is National Senior Citizen Center. And recently we launched the continuing engagement programming that you've got to register. If you have your national education number, that is very important. So anybody that is, whether you have worked in government, you are a retiree, or you have never worked for government at all, anybody 60 years and above should be registered in the National Education Programming. So that a package is coming in that you are going to have. And then continuing education engagement is such that you are a professional, a doctor, engineer, whatever you are, artisan. you cannot lose that even at your retirement. And you are looking at people from 60 years to 75 years. They are still capable of contributing to the development of the community or the country. So we want to sort these people out. So these people would be re-engaged, will be reabsorbed, and they can also apply their own trade appropriately. And then we had value to that, and that can lift them off the poverty line and put them into being, useful to the community once again. Because these are resource-based people with so much experience, and you leave them there because the government has forced the retirement age on you at 60 years or 65 years or even 75 years. And you can still contribute meaningfully to the development of the community and the society. And secondly, those households that we are having, many of the things or many of the children are outside the village setting, and you employ someone that is not trained to be there taking care of this person who is also cheating on you and even tramping on the rights of the person that is taking care of. So some people will now be trained. The curriculum I'm telling you about includes training for this kind of category of caregivers in the villages at home, those people that you want to engage to take care of the older persons at home because they don't want to move to institutions. Some of them, some families will think that family issues, that for dignity, out of stuff, that the consideration that you family is not taking care of you, they want to lock you into a home, and the home will be taking care of you, and you lose all the values and they look at you as not being caring to the old people. So they prefer being cared for at home. The active old can stay at home, and we recruit people and train them 8 weeks minimum, and they can now loop into this and be very useful to the society.
All right, so let's take this call. Hello.
Yeah, Swat.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I greet your guests in the studio. This is a very, very, very important topic.
Go ahead.
Because we're all praying to enjoy our old age. The old age, sorry, this is Barrister Hassan, I'm sorry.
All right, go ahead.
Old age is sunset of our stay on earth, and should be experienced gracefully. Of course, we have to grapple with reality that nobody is going to stay on earth forever. So we should all plan for our old age. One thing I want to suggest is that old people should be allowed to mix with their colleagues and age mates in the center. I don't subscribe that we should have old people's home because they'll be lonely there. Especially if they don't have friends. Then old people should be allowed to enjoy moments of reflection. Ask them to tell us what happened at so time when this thing happened. Maybe our national history and all that. They're very happy to start talking. Allow them to give advice to us. You think somebody's old and doesn't have sense? No. Let them give advice. They'll be happy to give advice to us. Understand? Prayers, constant prayers and all that. Allow them to maybe reflect on whatever they have done that they want to correct.
Okay.
Of course, health insurance. Yes, I know. Let me just finish this one. Health insurance, as one of your guests said, very, very important. Constant health checks, very, very important. God bless all of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate the contribution. So, as we begin to round up the discussion now, what will be the other, things you would want to add, and then maybe the conclusive comments.
Right. So I like the comment the last caller made, and I get this all the time when I go into a forum and I'm talking about there are older adults who have huge burden of disease and they need constant care 24/7. And in fact, those are the ones that are also at great risk of elder abuse. Because, the family members just despair, like, what else can we do? And, I'm getting calls from people, so, Mama is just walking around aimlessly, she's not allowing us to sleep. So those who have dementia, and that's something we all really must think about, get to understand more about, so that when you see an older person who has dementia, you understand that they're not just trying to make your life difficult by being uncooperative. It is just part of the disease process. So those with dementia who need skilled care definitely are better served in an institution, in a residential facility.
Absolutely.
So maybe people look at old people's home, but we're saying get the people who are no more able to live a dignified life. Because when I've had people who are left at home from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. alone. Mama has dementia. They just put a diaper on her, put her food beside her by the bed.
Someone locks.
Right.
Lock them up.
You know, some exactly. And some are restrained.
Yes.
All of that is abuse.
Yes.
But because we want to maintain that, I am keeping my mother or my father at home, but you're abusing them. We must start thinking about the care for them that is more appropriate by skilled people in an environment where people have been trained to do this.
Yeah.
So we definitely will be evolving to a point where we would have residential facilities to take care of this group of older people with multimorbidity who need 24/7 care, and relieve family members who are not skilled to stop neglecting and abusing these people.
Yeah.
Really, really important that we all have that mindset. Having said that, we need to get daycare centers or senior centers where the seniors can come, interact with themselves, play games. Like you said, we talk about a concept of intergenerational synergy.
Yes.
So at those centers, we occasionally bring school children to come and just interact with them, exchange information. These same students can actually be in those centers to teach technology. So there will be sharing of information and ideas from both sides. The kids are learning from the young, older ones about culture, the custom, and what life was about in the past, and all of that. Prayer, spirituality, all of that. And the children can actually impact technological skills on the older adults. So if we're able to create that platform that allows this intergenerational interface, it would really help, that aging process. It would also help to foster trust, understanding first, because these younger ones, once they are interfacing with these older ones more frequently, like, because some young kids have a completely different mindset for who an older person is.
Absolutely.
Somebody once said to me that, she thought every older person's room or every older person would smell. No.
When you grow old.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
But the smell, and I said to her, the smell is because somebody hasn't cared for her bed linen,
yeah.
for her clothes. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
So all of that mindset, and so better understanding of what aging is about, and when the younger ones are able to understand it, we will be more compassionate and empathic in the way we approach older people. We would also include them in our plans. I mean, there are people who are at home, their younger adults are going out to a party. Somebody even said to me, Mama would like to go to her son's wedding, but we're saying she can't go. And I'm saying, why? She's alive. She's only that she has dementia. Let her be there.
You see?
And just,
mix up with people to do a whole lot.
And let her be there.
Okay. Well, Dr. Iwan.
Thank you so much. We have to remember why we are here. This is June 15. This is the day for against the abuse of elder persons. Yes, there's a theme for today. That is closing the gap or the circle, and we are looking at elder abuse, the violence against the gender-based issues. The women that are old, who are already women generally are even looked at being vulnerable, and when they are old, they are even more vulnerable than even when in terms of income, in terms of everything that is advantage. So this day we want to look at that. The policies should address all these ones, and I'm happy that in this country those policies are in place, and we are just trying to bring it out, and very soon people will begin to enjoy good life even at old age. And I want to also quickly add, I think the FCT Constitutive Forum of the National Senior Citizen Center, Dr. Ogo is the co-chair what I'm the Vice Chair, Health and Social Care. And I think there's a program tomorrow at the National Hospital that we have to interact with them and then ensure that we give them hope. We encourage them, not only the older persons, but people that are taking care of them. And I want to also quickly add that this opportunity that we have identified, point one, is very golden, and we cannot underestimate the power of what we have just done now. That we have put information out there, and we are open to people to interact with us, and be rest assured that as we are aging, that we are having quality life, and we are looking forward to everybody enjoying good life, even in their old age at all times. So thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you for coming today, Dr. Ogugua Odi Obu and Dr. Iwot Ndabayo. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
For having us. We really appreciate it.
We really appreciate you guys for coming too. All right, this marks the end of our major discuss for today on the Elder Abuse Awareness Day. I hope we're more aware, and we will do our best to make the aging process easy for the next person, whether it's your parent or whoever, because we all will get there too. So we'll take on this break and come right back. Stay with me.
Connection established.